check some of these tracks, shall we? Kiss of Life continues to pave their way in the industry with this new single. Their concept pulls tons of influences from popular Western tracks from the 90s and the 2000s era, with Midas touch sustaining the group's persona very well. The soundscape is dazzling with textures. Your boy might try and catwalk to this one time. The delivery on the vocals are perfect on here. Very alluring that hones in on the idea that the girls pretty much make my knees buckle with just a touch.
When I touch ya, kiss ya.
Simply put, it's a solid title track. I respect aespa for craving their own lane in this K-pop industry. Their experimental sounds have always been hit or miss for me, but the fact that they're just trying something different is something I can get by. But Armageddon ain't it, chief. The track is discordant for the most part, with a pretty jarring pre-chorus that doesn't blend well at all. That oh is not appealing at all. It sounds like an auto-tuned yawn. The pre-release seems to be doing better numbers-wise, with Supernova. The main revving synth melody has some nice girth to it. Pause. And there's an energetic, futuristic chorus on here that feels like it just failed to hit its potential climax. Damn bro, pause. I also love the cadences on the verses here. Very snappy and cheeky. This one may grow on me as the year goes on, but for now, I feel like Supernova didn't truly hit aespa's peak. 24 members? That's no problem for Triple S. I mean, except for the fact that the line distribution is probably horror for this group. Yep, I was right. Fun fact, according to this comment right here, every single member still gets more time on the track than Hustle gets on HEYA. Oh wow, that is tough. Triple S's run recently has been pretty well received by fans, from Generation to Girls Capitalism and now to Girls Never Die. A track that continues on their more Y2K inspired soundscape, with a more street vibe you could say, thanks to the punchy percussions on here. A very straightforward record that just goes in from the moment you press play, a head-bopping chorus, and the goddamn la la las. They may as well trademark that melody at this point. EVERGLOW got some hits in their back catalog, but for me, this one ain't it, chief. The track feels over-polished at points where it becomes as stale as a 2-month-old baguette. I know because I used to play drums with it one time. Personally, it just falls flat for the most part with its more haunting soundscape. Definitely a track that doesn't carry on the greatness of Bon Bon Chocolat. Here's a clip of me dancing to it. Wait, how do I pronounce this name, bro?
24/7 with us. 안녕하세요, 좋습니다.
Twice? No. To us. Okay. Tweezers is that one group that you know what you're gonna get from them every single time. Bright, energetic pop tracks filled with youthful energy. All of that applies here on If I'm S, Can You Be My N? You know how much they love their MBTI over there. Personally, I am an ASS. Tons of fizzy synth hits on here that keeps up the momentum of the track throughout. My main critique for this title track is that this soundscape has been done multiple times and to a more enjoyable level, making this song come off as slightly derivative. Hopefully you can also make opposites attract with this song, whatever that means. Good script writing, Jazz. 17's newest compilation album has dropped alongside a few new singles. Comparing Maestro to the rest of their title tracks, that's better. The freak, all of these are better than this. Look, great pre-chorus, killer hook. Like I mean that literally. It just kills the whole vibe. You Carrots, according to the internet, are probably some of the most understanding fan bases out there. So let me try and explain to you why I don't like this track. The production on here is sterile and cliche for the most part, especially that guitar melody in the first verse. Anti-drops can be great as a way to hold the momentum into a more hype chorus, like Super, but the one here does none of that and is not interesting at all. And of course, the blaring instrumental on the back end really doesn't save this track at all. Forgive me, Carrots, but the mandem who made Pretty You is getting a D. Yes, the man who interviews idols does music on the side as well. Who would have knew? Mujin continues his streak of solid folk pop fusions with Propose. Nothing really innovative here, but it still has a pleasant soundscape to it thanks to its organic instruments. The aesthetic here does become slightly jaded with multiple listens, but it does the job of romanticizing the feeling of a successful proposal. Man, I might propose to someone right now. Hey, will you marry me? I'm your brother. I do not get the appeal of TXT. Deja Vu sorta just comes and goes, with nothing really memorable standing out in this more trap and rage inspired instrumental. There's no real critique for this one. It's a track that sorta just blends into the background with how familiar it sounds to other K-pop songs. That's in terms of song structure and melody, not necessarily the beat. It's just fine. Who would have knew that a bald man wearing a mask would have made my wish come true and make a J-pop inspired K-pop act? Thank you, Kim Egg. A group that was inspired off of J-rock anime acts such as Oshinoko and Bocchi the Rock.
明日のライブが今から想像できる
I love the youthfulness and enthusiasm on this record. Pretty much a J-pop track that includes hints of the intricate and complex melodies of that genre. That zippy video game section is killer. I feel like the Japanese term seishun describes these types of tracks very well, loosely translated into the springtime of the youth. Oh, I heard some of them came from a YouTube background as well. Let's see what type of content they were making. What the frick?
Let's get it
IVE's concept has always had an elegant prestige undertone to it. Think of them as a Louis Vuitton item that holds all the glamour and glory that comes with owning one, and then realizing that you got scammed and the wallet that you bought was doo-doo and costed 50 cents to make. That is what HEYA feels like to me. The track defo sounds very high budget and majestic, especially in that pre-chorus, but the HEYA melody just holds the momentum the track had built to a stop. I'm sure the Mandem could have thought of something more energetic than this, and they kinda did with the last chorus displaying what could have been a pretty great IVE track. Just by adding the trumpet hits and some chords back in, the record now has more oomph and feels way more anthemic than the first two choruses. Simply put, your boy don't rock with this one, G. The group that's single-handedly keeping the Christian horse girl genre alive. Shout out to these 2005 born K-pop idols who are continuing to create gleeful tracks that just uplifts my day. Wait, who else was born in 05? CSR, Henny Fam, I Show Speed? Hello is not as good as Pop Pop or even Shining Bright, as the track fails to engage without any real progression in its runtime. It feels like a loop on a soundscape that can get a little cliche. However, there's some bursting synth stabs here, paired with the happy-go-lucky aesthetic of it all that pretty much carries the whole record on its back. CSR, give me something more next comeback please, not this dog water of a title track. Alright, here's the freestyle I wrote for this song. Some may say you're the greatest rapper alive. Stop the cap, hold me back, I'm about to spoil the lie. Rockstar, obnoxious, with no melody, catching felonies, this puts me in my pajamas. Who's your influences? The most generic rappers on earth. You sound like an apprentice. Go ahead and run me some errands. Let that feet go disperse. For anyone thinking otherwise, let me hear what you think. And don't you ever bring the numbers into this and think you got me in a spliff. Oh, it's good. The beat's nice. Put some more critical thinking and actually go ahead and think. But you got some bounce to this track. I'll let you have a bite. Not until you teach me Japanese and learn to say hi. Yo, this track is a D. Hell yeah! Let me get some more rock-inspired K-pop tracks with this deserted aesthetic from Lucy. An instantly memorable chorus, catchy vocal inflections, and just an overall track that makes me want to fight a war for my whole country. I won't even lie. To be honest though, I can't say the same for the next record. Red Velvet celebrates their 10th anniversary in the industry with Cosmic. And oh my god, I don't get the hype guys. Simply a track that doesn't provoke any emotion in me. The bass guitar melody is pretty run-of-the-mill. Not a lot of melodies are latched onto. And the saving grace of this track is the performance by the members. The roller coaster feel to that melody is pretty catchy. Apart from that, Red Velvet's new title track aims to be cosmic in some sorts, but falls flat while doing so.
Never let go.
Jungkook has got the vocals, the talent, and the visuals. I know some of you are craving him to do a hug event. To be honest, me too. But sometimes, the man chooses to hop on some of the most bland aesthetics I've heard. This 2010s inspired house dance track just lacks any character and is equivalent to eating rice by itself. It's fine, but we need some flavor in there, bro. Or even some big, juicy meat. For the final track as a 9-member group, I don't think they could have done much better than this. Similar to aespa, I've always been hit or miss with Kep1er's title tracks. However, Back to the City was one of my favorites from last year, and Shooting Star is on par with the blissfulness of that B-side. Listen to how that chorus skyrockets into the stars. What a transcending soundscape, man. I love the rapid fire percussions on the verses, and the stellar decision to halt the instrumental for the pre-chorus. This is so goated, bro. Ethereal is the best way I could describe how I feel. Kep1er has easily blown my expectation out the water. You know what they say? It's always better to retire at the top. Having the same creative director as Luna, ARTMS has decided to reinvent themselves on their new comeback, Virtual Angel. First off, the English translation of their group name is Actual Horror. Like, how would you pronounce this? Having no clue who the group is. ARTMS, I mean, to be fair, it does sound like Artemis. I'm just being an idiot. There is a core group of people that are absolutely loving this comeback, and I am not one of them. The synth-pop aesthetic feels like it hit its euphoric peak on the intro, and then tries to play catch-up for the rest of its runtime. I would have loved more richer elements to enhance the dreamy sound the track was going for. It's just another completely fine record. Oh, it's Chuu, baby! Let's go! Chuu is back with Strawberry Rush, a title track that is pretty ideal for her persona. Bubbly, energetic, and as electrifying as a dazzling callback to 80s synth pop with an earworm chorus. The way this title track immerses you into an atmospheric experience is top-notch. Deep, rich bass sounds, sparkling arpeggiators, and even Chuu's ascending vocal melody is beautiful. It bursts into a rush of sweetness, just like its title suggests. Oh, and of course, how can I forget this Aegyo pre-chorus? Very Chuu-esque and just enhances the radiant and vibrant sound of this whole record. One thing I am wondering though is that when she does it, it's cute as hell. But when I do it, such another beep, such another beep, such another beep, 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 pew, pew, pew. Actually kill yourself. NewJeans have decided to take their Y2K aesthetics overseas to Japan, this time with some New Jack influences to it. It's a pretty solid blend of that and the bubbly soundscapes that has some pretty lackluster verses on here. The hook slaps, don't get me wrong, and some fire dance moves by the way that, wait, I've seen this before, but the verses sorta sound like they're just phoning it in, with how uninspiring those vocal melodies sound. Supernatural is simply a solid record that is missing the it factor that some of the other NewJeans tracks have. Simply put, it's not bubblegum. Amidst all of the drama with their CEO, NewJeans released one of their most nostalgic tracks to date. I am in love with the infectious, carefree aesthetic this record carries. There's a hiss sound that starts off the chorus that I'm in love with. It sounds as refreshing as a soda on a hot day. Even more, Hanny Femme absolutely killed that first hook. Vocals are smooth and just sound effortless on here. Bubblegum was honestly pretty great for the soundscape they were going for. And well, that's it for me. I probably missed out on some of your faves, but it's okay. We gonna make it. Secured.